Okay, great.
If he's
All right.
hiring you to do it, I
All
might
right,
as well.
factoring by grouping when 4 terms, because I knew you were going to do it, and then you weren't. So we know the factoring out the block, because I taught that last week, but now factoring by grouping, all right? And that is specifically used when there are 4 terms in a problem, right? I'm sorry? Well, let's deal with 4 first, right? You don't even know how to do 4, so let's work with 4, that you know. Okay, so if you have something like this, let's say you had, so this is our first problem. Let's say we have 2x squared minus 12x plus 3x minus 18. Now, in this particular case, you could combine the 2 in the middle, right? And then you could factor it. The only thing is you don't know how to factor it yet. That would give you a quadratic trinomial. So we're not there yet. So for now, we notice how many terms? We have 1, 2, 3, 4. And so when they say factoring by grouping, what would you think they mean by that?
Group them into ones that they're like.
All right, so since there's 4, how many groups could we say? Let's say, how about 2 groups of, 4 groups, excuse me, 2 groups of 2, right? So why don't we group these together? Okay, you with me so far? I'm gonna factor out the greatest common factor out of this group. And then I'm gonna put a plus sign, because there's a plus sign there. And then I'm gonna factor out the greatest common factor out of this group. Okay? So what's my greatest common factor in this group? 2 and what else?
X.
2 and the x. You always choose the x, since they both have x's in common, you choose the one with the smaller exponent. And Una, if it doesn't have an exponent, it does. It has an exponent of 1. So we're gonna factor out an x. And I know this is hard, this is confusing, I'm sure.
In my school, we got what she called the like terms, which were like 12x and 3x.
Okay.
And, like, use those.
And that you can combine them?
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, that's awesome. That's great. So with these 2, right, our greatest common factor is this. So keep going, Gideon. How would I finish this? 2x squared divided by 2x. X?
You'd have 2x parentheses x minus 2, or x minus 6.
X minus 6, right? And we can always double check by using the distributive property. 2x times x is 2x squared. That's right. Minus 2 times negative, 2 times 6 is 12, 12x, 12x, right. And then I've got a plus sign, so I'll get rid of this so it doesn't confuse us. Okay, and then I've got this plus sign, I gotta put that there, it's really important. And then what's my greatest common factor here, Ben? 3, keep going, Ben.
No, it would be 3, x minus 6.
Okay, so we're done, right?
No.
Wait, do you see something?
No.
Oh my gosh!
Yes, I did.
What do you see?
I see
Train.
a blob.
A blob! You see a blob! Oh my
Very
gosh!
good. You extremely
All
happy.
All right, so Ben, help us finish with the blob.
Okay, so it would be x parenthesis
Yeah.
x minus 6.
Yes.
Then it would be, I believe, plus.
Right. No.
No, just
You're
parentheses.
yeah. So what when you
Okay.
take the x minus 6 out of this term, what do you have?
I have 2x.
Okay, and then a plus.
Plus 3.
You got it.
Yeah.
All right. So that is how you would factor a 4-term problem. Okay.
Like right now, there's really no point in doing it. I don't understand.
Yes, there is. But my point
Right
is
now.
right. There is a point to doing it because you're learning a skill that you will be able to use.
Oh.
But like if I told you to go build a house, but you didn't know how to use a saw, right? First, I would teach you how to use a saw. That's what I'm
Who doesn't
doing.
know how
Is
to use a
teaching.
saw?
What?
Who doesn't know how to use a saw?
Oh, a lot of people.
A
A lot of people.
You
Power
move it
saw?
back and forth. Is it really that hard?
No, a power saw.
Oh.
Power saw, right? You need to know how to do some things first. I would have to teach you some skills first. I'm teaching you the skills, and they will make sense once you start to put it in a bigger context.
Oh, but Gary,
Yes.
there's always a use
And you know, it's funny that you say that. There's always a use in math, otherwise human race would get rid of it. And I was telling that to Mira's dad on Thursday or Friday. I think it was Friday, right? He picked you up on, oh, well, last week. And you know, he teaches at St. John's College, and he had a totally different perspective. He was saying that a lot of mathematicians focus on math, at least, you know, some of the ancient mathematicians and stuff. A lot of their working in math was very philosophical. It was not necessarily practical, it was philosophical. And so that when people actually needed stuff, they already had the philosophical proofs of how to use it in real life. But it first started as a philosophy, according to him. And I don't know if this is true, but that was very interesting to me. I trust that it is, because he's very educated. Anyway, so yeah. So some people use math for actually, you know, for a useful cause, and other people, useful purpose, and other people use it for philosophical musings and stuff. All right, so does that make sense? Do you guys think you could do that?
Yeah.
So let's do one more. Let's just do one more. Let me think. All right, let's say we do,
It's not even 30. But it's not even. That's the same thing.
okay, how many terms do I have? So Anna, help me. How many terms do I have?
You have
4 terms. So Anna, what method would I use?
okay. You would use factoring by grouping things.
Okay, so we're gonna group these groups together, groups of 2. And what is my greatest common factor, Anna?
3x squared.
3x squared. I gotta choose the x with the smallest exponent, so 3x squared. All right, what would I have here?
You would have x. Would you know?
Yeah.
Minus 2.
X minus 2, that's correct. And then plus, because I gotta bring that plus down.
Plus 10. Then you'd have 10. Yeah, that's the x. Minus 2.
Okay, so we have finished the factoring by grouping. Now what method are we going to use? Factoring out the blob. The blob. Oh, by the way, you won't see that in our textbook. just so you know. Okay,
We'll say factoring out the binomial in parentheses.
I can see somebody looking through the index. Where blob? I don't see blob in my textbook. Sorry.
It's going to be phrased like factoring out the monomial, or the quadratic binomial
Right.
inside of the parentheses in
You talk like a textbook, sir.
I know.
Okay. All right. So really quickly, we got to finish this. Anna, fast. Guys, Anna, Mira, you guys, Tia.
There you'll have parentheses x minus 2.
So we're going to do x minus 2,
Parentheses.
parenthesis,
3x
3x squared
plus 10.
plus 10. That's a
Brilliant.
square. Right? And so we are done.
Plus
We are
10,
done.
plus 10.
I was just checking to see if you guys were awake.
Are you awake, Jerry?
I'm awake. You're awake. Okay, so we have finished. I'm going to pass out this
Subscribe.
homework, and I'm going to turn